Dave, what does it mean for you to have Justin Turner infused back into your lineup?
Go ahead, Alana.
Dave, what does it mean to you to have Justin Turner infused back into your lineup?
I'm excited for Justin. I'm excited for the team. You just know he's been chomping at the bit to get back in there. The quality of the bat, just seeing him back in there with us makes us considerably better. And I don't know how many days we're going to run him out there as a DH, but I just could see in the net for the next 3 or 4. I see him as a DH, and then hopefully we'll get him back at third base as well soon.
Major League Baseball made it official today. You guys will definitely have a postseason bubble with the National League playing in Texas. What is your opinion on that?
As far as the postseason bubble, I think that's great. There's some details that I'm not too clear on. I understand that, the first wild card game, I think, series is at home, I think. And then we kind of get shipped out and bubble there. The family situation, I'm not sure, but I think that I get the idea of the bubble, though.
Dave, 40 years ago, Fernando Valenzuela made his major league debut. What do you think he has meant to just the world of pitching and this Dodgers organization, and furthermore, the city of Los Angeles?
Man, Fernando, on many levels, has impacted not only the Mexican community, Major League Baseball, the Dodgers. He's just such a good man, and I didn't realize it's been 40 years. That's crazy, and for him to still be on the broadcast, on the Spanish broadcast, he just kind of paved the way. And we have 2 guys right now in our club that idolize him, in Julio and Victor. So he kind of just said he was a trailblazer, trendsetter, whatever you want to call it. But just what a great Dodger, and I'm happy he was a Dodger, certainly.
You have Will Smith moved up to the cleanup spot today. What have you liked in his offensive production to warrant him so high in your order?
Well, I initially was gonna have him in the 5, where I think I like him going forward. But today I just wanted to give Max a day to sit back, watch a baseball game, and then be ready late if needed. But as far as Will in the middle of the order, I just think that his at-bat quality has been consistent. The on base, the using the whole field. He's hit righties better than lefties. And I think that as we look out going to finish the season and through the postseason, I just want to count on certainty on quality of the bat.
Thank you.
Yep.
Next question is from Mark Castillo. Go ahead.
Dave, does the playoff format, now that it's official, does that change? Does it incentivize finishing in first in the National League or winning the division in any way? Maybe like playing in Dallas the entire time or Arlington?
I don't think it does. No, it certainly doesn't incentivize a team outside of, you still want to win the division. That's still a goal. But as far as the benefit, it's non-existent. As far as the playoff format, I think that in the National League, we have 2 days off, and then we play a 3-game series, and then 2 days off, and then 5 in a row. So I think that I like that in the sense of having the consecutive days kind of taps into the depth and seeing all 5 starters. So that I agree with. But as far as kind of your question, there's really not a whole lot of incentive, which is unfortunate.
And we talked about yesterday about, you put Jock in the same bucket as Max and Cody. You guys are still, I think 3rd in the league in the majors in scoring runs. But do you think you guys can go deep into October without at least a couple of those guys sort of figuring things out and reversing their struggles?
No, I don't. I think that those three guys are a big part of our lineup. So to have them, not get untracked, it'd be very difficult. So, certainly they're not the only three guys on a club, and we've managed to score runs and win baseball games without their consistent production that they've done their entire careers. So for me, it's still something that I'm counting on and expecting from those guys, and they're grinding, they're working hard, and I know that they'll be ready to take good at bats during this postseason.
You got time for one more. Go ahead, Ken.
Hey, do you know if the quarantine aspect, as far as the families for the players, also applies to the manager and the coaches?
Shoot, Kenny. I'm still trying to get clarity. We're still trying to get clarity. I do know I've heard rumblings that the players can have their families, but have a potential option to stay at home if they get approved by the league and the team, which would sort of constitute a bubble. I understand. I think that staff, coaches won't have their families with them in the bubble. So if that's the case, I'll be very disgruntled. Guys that haven't had their families with them the whole year, and the sacrifice that coaches have made with the players, and we consider each other family. And so I don't know, to be separated because coaches don't have their own union. And there's a lot to it, Kenny, and I don't want to speak unintelligently on it, but I do know if we have the whole hotel to ourselves as the Dodgers, then I would expect the staff and their families to be in the same bubble as the players and their families.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, guys.
Justin Turner now available. First question's from Alana. Go ahead, Alana.
I'm having trouble with my earpiece. I can't hear.
Try Jorge Castillo. Go ahead.
Justin, just being back, how do you feel? I'm sure there might be some rust, but how do you feel with the hamstring and going into tonight?
Yeah, feeling good. Been going through a lot of tests. Spent a lot of time in the training room trying to get back, get ready, and excited to be back out there tonight.
The playoff format was official today. Just what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, we're just like everyone. I think we're still kind of reading through everything and seeing what's what and what's allowed and not allowed. But once we dig through it, I'll be able to answer those questions better. So we're having a meeting here in a few minutes to kind of go over everything in it.
Does that include sort of the quarantine situation with families and all that? I know you, there was a report out there and you spoke up and kind of let your feelings know about that.
Yeah, I think as of right now, at least the players, from what I'm hearing, will be able to have their families in the hotel bubble. But like I said, there's a lot of details that we haven't gotten to see. I've only seen some kind of like outlines and summaries of what's going on. So we got to dig into it a little bit more.
Cool. Thank you.
Next question is from Dave Assay. Go ahead.
Hey, Justin, since you've been out, just curious your thoughts on the way the team has played and how you believe you guys can get better before the playoffs start.
Yeah, I still think we're playing good baseball. I think, we're still winning games, and there's never a feeling of satisfaction in our clubhouse, no matter how good or bad we're playing. I think I show up every day and try to get better and try to improve their game individually. And, we're just going to continue to do that every day.
a lot of people notice the energy that the Padres play with. Is it unfair to compare them to you guys, or would you like to see more energy from your dugout, or do you believe there's enough?
I mean, yeah, energy is a byproduct, I think, of offense, really. So when we're scoring runs and everything's going good, it's fine. But I think if you look at any team who isn't scoring runs, it's easy to be like, oh, well, they don't have energy, they're flat. So just got to find a way to continue to put together good ABs, try to get on the board early. We've been outstanding at scoring runs late in games. Just need to figure out a way to try to throw some cricket numbers up earlier in the games.
Thanks, Justin.
Next question is from Bill Plunkett. Go ahead, Bill.
Justin, we were just talking to Dave, and he kind of agreed that the postseason format doesn't really incentivize winning a division. What do you think about that and the idea of, playing in a neutral site for 3 rounds?
Yeah, there's not really an advantage other than I think the very first round, the wild card round, all 3 games will be played in the top 4 seeds home park. But other than that, that's pretty much the only advantage. So I guess all I can say about that is it's another 2020 thing, right?
There's also a report out there that MLB is going to ask players not to celebrate with champagne and to keep it a social distancing in mind, even when celebrating. How difficult do you think that's going to be?
It's very difficult. I think, clinching anything is something that's very worth celebrating. And you don't know how many times you're going to have the opportunity to clinch a playoff berth, a division, moving on to the next round of the playoffs. So again, for the young guys, same thing. They didn't get to have their family and friends on their first opening day, and then now possibly getting a celebration kind of taken away from them, I think is kind of brutal. It's something that, we don't take lightly. We appreciate everything and understand how hard it is to win and clinch and move forward in this game. And it's something that we all want to celebrate and, spend that time with each other, because we all know that sacrifices and the time and the effort that we put into getting to that point.
Next question is from Alden Gonzalez. Go ahead.
Hey, Justin, this is kind of an offbeat question, but because of the way the playoffs are structured, there's going to be a lot of American League players who are obviously going to be playing really meaningful games at Dodger Stadium, and a lot of those guys are going to be playing there for the first time. What would you tell them about just what it's like playing at Dodger Stadium and what to expect coming in here that might be different from other ballparks?
I mean, honestly, that's the furthest away from things that I'm worried about in the playoffs. They'll be just fine. They're grown men. They know how to play on the road. I love Dodger Stadium. I think it's the best stadium in baseball, and I would tell them good luck and have fun and enjoy it.
Is there just anything that might be different about just the way the ball carries here in October, or the way the ball plays off the infield, the sight lines, or anything like that?
I mean, it's just like any other road stadium they go to. There's different dimensions and different little intricacies about every stadium. So I'm sure they'll get accustomed to it really fast.
We got time for one more. Go ahead, Eric.
Justin, one of the quirks of the playoff schedule this year is no off days in series. So do you think that's any specific advantage to you guys, either as an offense or for your pitching staff?
If anything, I'd say it would be an advantage to the depth of our starting pitching. Obviously, you're not going to be able to just roll through the playoffs with only 3 pitchers unless you sweep every series, really. And even then, you're going to have to use more than 3 starters. So we like all of our starters. We have a lot of depth in our starting rotation, and I think that bodes well for us in this format.
Thanks.